All right, welcome to episode 34 of the Beer and Bullshit Show! Woo! I'm the host, Chris Bennett, and tonight we have another guest from the Bitcoin community, Sarah.
Hello.
Or Sarah, maybe you could tell us about yourself.
Sure, I can do that. I like to skateboard, and I like to snowboard. Those are kind of like my two main adrenaline rush things that I do on a daily basis. To be honest, I spend a lot of my time trying to create opportunities for my friends to get involved in the technology of Bitcoin. So it's kind of taken over my life, which I'm okay with. And in the last year, I've been to multiple different countries and heading to more in the next few weeks. So I've spent some time in Honduras, Panama, Costa Rica, Mexico, Canada, Amsterdam, and then in a couple days I'm headed to Paris, Croatia, Brazil, Panama, and then eventually, start of next year, I'm actually moving to a small Caribbean island called Dominica, and I'm a project manager of a project that is aimed around educating an entire nation about the blockchain. And after the time is up, we're doing a party on the island to celebrate kind of a lot of hard work, merchants, adoption, a lot of education within the island, and we're going to give every single person on the island $10 worth of Bitcoin. So that's incredible. It's going to be very fun. We've already had a wonderful, embrace from the community, and that's basically what I am right now, is creating an opportunity for education about the blockchain, which is by far the coolest thing that I've learned about in the last 3 years. So. Right on.
Can I ask you more questions about this? It's called the bit drop. Is that yes. What it is?
It's called the bit drop, playing on the beat drop.
Okay. Now I've been to Dominica, and I know what a wonderful place it is, and I know what wonderful people are there, and they're very industrious, entrepreneurial. I think they're really going to love this. Now, when is this? I want to go. I'm thinking I've been looking for an excuse to go back there for years, and I can't think of a better one.
Yes, please come. So the party is on Pi Day. So it's a true Pi Day because it's 3.1415. And then we're actually going to drop the Bitcoin to coincide with Pi at 9:26:53 in the morning.
Now, how do you give $10 worth of Bitcoin to 70 or 80,000 people at one time? How does that work?
Sure. So we've been kind of in the last few weeks collecting and making partnerships with different Bitcoin companies, and the company that we're partnering to actually do the original drop of Bitcoin is Coinapult. And Coinapult is a company that's based out of Panama. They've been live for at least 2.5 years, I think. And they actually do SMS transactions. So although Dominica does have a really high rate of smartphone usage and ownership, we still don't want to leave the people out that maybe don't have or don't have a smartphone capability, because it's actually those are the people that could truly find benefits with Bitcoin. So we're going to do an SMS drop on that morning, and it's an opt-in drop because one of the nicest parts about Bitcoin is that you don't ever get forced to use it. It's an opt-in. So they'll be sent a text to receive this $10. They'll receive it, and throughout the day we're going to have parties all around the island. So we'll have live music, Caribbean chicken, we'll have beer, we'll have a lot of different educational booths, even merchant booths. So, this is all stuff that's kind of coming together now, finding partners that want to be basically directly connected to 70,000 people in one full swoop in one day. But the 6 months leading up to it is kind of the fun part, building the relationships, doing the education and everything like that. But you can absolutely come down to the party. We've got one free trip that we're giving away. So anybody that donates 0.1 Bitcoin or above, and then shoots us a tweet, is entered into a all-inclusive trip. So it's an airline from whatever country you're in, a hotel, and a pass to the party. And I can imagine there's probably going to be some more fun stuff to do as well as we go and we get more sponsors. And then we have another sponsored trip from Charter Ace, which is a really awesome luxury charter company that does charters for yachts and for planes, and you can pay in Bitcoin. So we're going to have them they're a sponsor, and they're actually giving away a yacht party. So you can win a yacht party. you can win a yacht party. I think for its 0.01 Bitcoin, and you'll be entered into winning that. So on top of that, we're going to have travel discounts through cheapair.com, and we're hoping to bring on a bunch of other sponsors. So please join us on the island, because we need all of the world to support this and help with the education. So we'd love to go diving and see the whales, and everybody's invited.
That's so incredible. I'll just do a quick plug commercial here for Dominica, because for a lot of, maybe more people have been to Jamaica, so they know what Jamaica's like in terms of the geography. You have these mountainous interiors and lush rainforests surrounded by wonderful beaches. And Dominica is very similar to that, except it's a smaller island, and there's none of that like creepy like Kingston vibe at all. You can walk anywhere in the middle of the night, anywhere. The people are so wonderfully nice and inviting. They invite you into their homes. They're outgoing. It's just a beautiful people and a beautiful place. It is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. There's mild volcanic activity. There's a boiling lake. Is the lake still boiling? I think it would. I want to know that if it is or not. Okay.
What are the drug laws?
What's that?
What are the drug laws?
Of no consequence.
How much money do you have to pay off? I'm just kidding. I don't know. I shouldn't even say that. I don't know the drug laws. Not
that I would know, but you know what? I recommend you just talk to your water sports guy or your cab driver. Somebody will be happy to hook you up. No problem.
Well played.
But you should always follow the rules, just to be safe.
Of course. Well, this is one of the most exciting Bitcoin projects I've heard about in a long time.
How do I win a freaking yacht party?
Yeah, so you go to charterace.com.
Let's get a link over here. Let's see.
Yeah. And that's how you do it. You enter in for I think it's 0.1 Bitcoin, 0.01 Bitcoin, and then you'll be entered in, and you can win through your public address. So
0.01 Bitcoin. Okay.
I think that's what it is. They're a new sponsor, and I've been so busy that sometimes numbers escape me.
Now, is there a website that people can go to for just general information about the BitDrop?
Yeah, so we're basically right now kind of in a very interesting stage. Our website is being rebuilt. So our kind of our splash page currently is letthebitdrop.com. So if you can't remember it, just think about letting the beat drop, and it's letthebitdrop.com.
If anybody's not sure what 0.01 Bitcoin is, it's about 4.20 cents right now.
Yeah, so and then you can win the trip for 0.1 Bitcoin, which I think today is, well, the rate's been fluctuating, but yesterday it was $40. When we said it, it was $50. So it's actually just an opportunity to really allow people to look at this as an opportunity to share the blockchain. So anybody that wants to come down and party with us is basically we're gonna have a good time. I have a feeling we'll probably get the yacht for a couple days in a row and bring the island out and have a good time. So it is a very exciting project. I hear a lot of projects every day And I'm very excited to hear about the projects that are truly focused on innovation or focused on direct connection to the world. Because I find currently there's a lot of projects which I still totally support. I think that they're amazing, and I just, they're pushing the space forward and innovation forward. But I find that there's not a lot of projects that are directly connected to like boots on the ground education, teaching people what the blockchain can do for their life, teaching them the opportunities for like Bitcoin 2.0 and like, smart contracts, actual true blockchain contracts. There's a marriage going on in a couple weeks in Florida on the blockchain through BitNation. I mean, there's such cool stuff. But the thing is a lot of these projects are 10 years ahead of their time, which is great, except for the fact that there needs to be more legs of people actually out talking to individuals in the world about how Bitcoin can change their life, how it actually gives them the power to own their own bank, and all the repercussions of aid. I mean, most of these islands have been hit heavily by hurricanes. Hurricane Haiti, $9 billion was donated for aid, and less than 2% was ever even given or received by the people. So this is a huge, huge opportunity for any island or any secluded place or basically any person in the world to have the opportunity to accept aid in a moment's notice without a middleman taking it and capitalizing on, those days that the funds aren't there or never actually are there. So it's very, very cool.
Or just to do business. I mean, an entrepreneur in Dominica now can, once they're equipped with buying and selling Bitcoin, they can now do business with someone anywhere else in the world, regardless of what Visa has to say about it or PayPal's terms of service. Screw that. And I'm really excited because the people in the Caribbean are so entrepreneurial. They've had to be so creative because they've come from these ravaged colonial places, and some have fared better than others. But I know that the people that I met in Dominica are going to love this. They're gonna see the opportunity, and I can't wait to see how it what it turns into.
Yeah, it's one of those things that sometimes I get a little bit overwhelmed with the project and what we're doing, because I literally the reason why I use Bitcoin is to monetize my passions. So to give an entire sovereign nation the opportunity to not only learn about an opportunity to monetize their passions, but actually set up programs and weekly meetups where they can get help. It's going to be crazy to see what this what repercussions this has for the island. And the other aspect is that Dominica has a really, really large underage population. It's huge. It's like 24% of their population or more is under 18. So this type of education coming in now is actually going to shape their future instead of kind of have them catch up to the world later because the technology doesn't reach small islands quickly. It's kind of bringing the best technology of the world now to a nation, like you said, who are filled with entrepreneurs. And it's going to be exciting to see the content that comes out, just monetizing content, monetizing shows, dancing, poetry, art. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful thing. I'm so excited. I can't wait for it.
Now,
as of right now, there are 3 entries for this yacht club, and I have 2 of them.
Woo!
How about if I agree not to enter and you're just going to share the party with me?
Oh, all right.
Well, let me say this, though. To get to the yacht, you need a flight and a hotel. So you might as well donate to the Bit Drop and have a chance to win that trip so that you can actually win the yacht trip, too.
I got a boat.
Yeah, I could see, those Visa commercials that say, or whatever, that say, you can get this, but you can get that, but you can for Visa or through Visa. I could literally see somewhere in the future commercials running in the United States and say, you can do this, but here in Dominica, we don't accept Visa or MasterCard. We accept Bitcoin. So, you know what I mean?
Well, we won't go that far to say that yet because we don't want Visa or MasterCard to, lay down the hammer on us. we'll let the people choose.
Right, sneak in first. It's not a threat, Visa and MasterCard. Really, it's not a threat. Call off the stormtroopers. It's cool. Well, I still don't understand how you get Bitcoin to a whole country. Like, where did you get the addresses or the cell phone numbers or like, how do you do that?
Sure. So basically, Coinapult is taking care of all of the technological standpoint of this. So if I misspeak or am not as great at explaining the technology, please excuse me. But from my understanding, basically what we do is Coinapult is partnered with the telecom partners on the island who run the cell phones.
Is that a state monopoly?
There's quite a few different telecom partners. I think there's 2 or 3. They've got optic wire running onto the island for internet. So basically, Coinapult has an opportunity to send one text out to all phones on the island, okay? So it goes through their telecom partner, and this is very common in the Caribbean and other islands, and a lot of other, Mexico does it as well. Telecom partners will send out a text, if you want to win this, press 1, or if you want to opt out, press 2. So
Spam.
people are it's spam, exactly. So that's why we're educating the people 6 months beforehand, letting them know that they're going to be receiving this text. We're giving them free tokens, basically.
So it's not like some crappy U2 album that appears on your iPod suddenly.
No, exactly. That happened to me the other day. I was trying to figure out, I don't use Apples very much, but I got this weird, Lorena McKenna on my thing. How did I get this? So, off the topic. So basically what happens is they'll send out the initial text that will say, if you'd like to opt into the BitDrop, here's $10 worth of Bitcoin to spend at the party today. A little bit about the party details depending on their area of the island, and they'll all be on the website as well. Then they can press 1 to receive the Bitcoin through text message, and when they press 1, the Bitcoin is actually texted directly to their phone, and now they own a Coinapult SMS wallet. Or if they have a cell phone that's smartphone capabilities, they're going to be able to press 2 that'll actually link them to a link where they can choose a wallet that they want to put it in. So Coinapult does have a web wallet, but we're currently speaking to other Bitcoin companies and Bitcoin wallets that may be interested in reaching 70,000 people and having a large portion of them set up their wallet. So when they choose the wallets, because they're on a smartphone, they can actually check out what each wallet does and how it works, because each one of our sponsors will have this on their website, on our website. And basically what it'll do is it'll pull through Coinapult's API, and we'll know what numbers have been used and which ones haven't. So we can't double spend. We won't be sending one person that accepts a text message and then goes to the website and says, oh, I want a web wallet. So we've got that with algorithms taken care of. And then basically it's very easy to send and receive Bitcoin through text it's as easy as sending a text to your grandmother. You might have to explain your grandmother how to, do this and that to grab it, but it's very, very easy. It's going to be able to reach kids, elders, anybody in between. And the reason for it is we want to keep it simple, because that's the first step of Bitcoin, is showing how easy it is transacted back and forth. So,
I got a Coinapult Bitcoin transaction at the 2011 PorkFest, I think. So that was, over 3 years ago. They sent me 0.01 Bitcoin, which was just like a couple cents. I just sent that to the yacht place.
There we go, full circle.
Cool. Now, which brewery will be sponsoring this? Any ideas, or do you know anybody?
We were actually talking about liquor sponsors the other day, and, to be honest, what we're trying to do within the island is have local companies, local restaurants, local rum makers, local everything actually have their products for sale on the day of the party, because the entire nation's going to have $10 to spend. Some people may not spend it at the party. They might keep it. Some people might spend it on beer at the party, and then others maybe can't make it to the party, but they get the after hours festivities, and they've got rum shops open that are accepting Bitcoin. So, we talked about bringing on large rum sponsors, but to be honest, I think the best option here is to show how Bitcoin can stimulate their own economy, and for the areas that we can't really get, then we'll bring in other sponsors. But for the most part, our sponsors are travel and Bitcoin, fintech, basically any company that wants global exposure. But the kind of the internal stuff, even the music, we're going to hire some local bands and really try to bring this to the community. I would love to see the bands, by the time that the bit drops, be wanting to accept their payment in Bitcoin. So we'll see if we get that far.
What's the opt-in % goal?
Well, yeah. So we've talked a lot about this, and it's kind of one of those things that's really dependent upon the next few months and how much education is had, what type of connections we're doing. One of our sponsors is the College Cryptocurrency Network, so they're going to reach out to the universities on the island. There's a medical school as well as a college. So, I think that in the next 6 months, I think it's a little bit premature to say what we actually expect, but we're talking anywhere from 40 to 60% opt-in. But we're going to be ready for 100%. So that's why we're doing the fundraising from the community, because we'd like to have $700,000 to be able to give every single person on the island Bitcoin, because the island is a little bit over 74,000, but a lot of those are kids that maybe absolutely don't have access to a phone, or they're not even old enough to use one. So,
I mean, there's communities of Carib Indians, that it's going to be hard to get them Bitcoin.
Well, those are definitely the people that can actually really benefit from it as well. So we're going to do our best effort to reach everybody just with education, and then those who believe that the education is something that they're interested in, and we maybe spark their interest in monetizing their passions, then they'll get Bitcoin and can start going. We also are bringing Bitcoin ATMs on the island. We'll have point of sales. So maybe in over the next 6 months, people get interested, they can buy Bitcoin. After the bit drop, as people are really starting to use it, a lot of people have it. The people that maybe didn't quite understand, or to get the opportunity to opt in, or, something happened, they can go down to one of the local areas that we're going to have the BTMs and purchase $10 worth of Bitcoin. For people that don't have SMS wallets, in the leading up of the 6 months, we're going to be doing meetups. So if they don't have a text phone, we're definitely going to be able to access them with paper wallets as well. So
what town do we need to stay in?
Rizzo is the capital. That's where the main party is going to be, but we're also going to throw a party in Portsmouth, which is where the medical college is. And we're talking about one more party in another place, but we haven't quite pinpointed that yet.
Boiling Lake.
Sorry, which one?
Boiling Lake.
Make everybody hike up for a day and
and don't go swimming. Okay, it's not a swimming lake.
So yeah, it's a cool project. I thank you for being interested in it, because it's a proof of concept for Bitcoin, that's a really cool thing.
Well, now, how much do you trust Coinapult? I don't know anything about them as a company, but it seems like there's an awful lot riding on them to sort of make this happen, technologically, business-wise, logistically, managerially. Seems like there's 1,000 things that could go wrong.
Sure. So Coinapult is just our wallet sponsor, and they're responsible for doing the initial SMS drop. They're not in control of the funds. So the funds that will be raised are not controlled by any of our sponsors. They're controlled by the board of the bit drop. And we're using the blockchain, obviously. So all public transactions can be seen. We're really working on the bit drop, acting like a nonprofit, but actually having accountability through the blockchain, which is unheard of for nonprofits to actually have to be accountable for the way that they spend their money and how they do it. And I think an important part to note within this is we're not just giving money to people, we're actually giving them opportunities to Bitcoin and the blockchain. And so we're actually taking out another middleman of having to turn Bitcoin into fiat and then fiat into bank accounts. So that adds a little bit less risk. Now, I would say that all of our sponsors are responsible for educating on their own products. So we've got BTM's point of sale systems, Coinapult will be doing wallets, Crypto College, or College Cryptocurrency Network will be doing education, as well as an education sponsor that we can't mention yet, but we're looking to partner with. So there is a lot riding on Coinapult. Absolutely, you're right. They have to deliver 70,000 people Bitcoin in one day, but their system is robust, and they've been doing SMS transactions for over 2 years without issues. So that's a very good streak. We're very open to third-party audits on funds. So we're working to be as transparent as we can to get support from a community who believes in transparency and but also privacy. Because a lot of the people on the island will want to own Bitcoin privately, so they're going to have options for sending their Bitcoin to wallets that give them larger amounts of privacy. So, we're trying to set them up for success with all of our different sponsors.
Wow. You're taking them from 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. I mean, it's quite ambitious. There's no denying that the ambition is incredible.
Yeah, well, we're already succeeding at our goals. We've already been talking to many islanders that are very interested in Bitcoin, and making really great relationships with people globally. So, we're already succeeding. If our percentage of people who actually accept the Bitcoin is low, we already have, I think, 4 or 5 other islands that have reached out to us that are very interested in the next bit drop. So we can learn from our mistakes or from our learnings of, this education works great, or maybe this education would work better. And we're ready for the next island. But to be honest,
Cuba?
We're putting Cuba would be a really great island. People would absolutely benefit so much from having the blockchain there.
Maybe start by liberating Puerto Rico first, and then work your way up to Cuba.
Well, see, the problem with Puerto Rico is that it's an American based entity.
That's why they need it more than anyone else.
I think we'll let I personally will let somebody else take care of that.
What about is Jeff Berwick in on this at all? What is Jeff Berwick doing anything? Is he going to be involved in this?
Jeff Berwick around that same time is doing the Anarchopulco. He lives in Acapulco, and they're kind of doing like an anarchist hard assets and Bitcoin thing. So Jeff is definitely welcome. Jeff, if you're looking at this, we want you to come. But I think he's pretty busy with his own festival going on currently.
He's the kind of guy that can handle multiple responsibilities.
He does. He's a multitasker.
Certainly right up his alley. So.
Yeah, well, we'd love Jeff to be a part of it, participate, bring his network to it. In the last 2.5 weeks since it's dropped to press, I've talked to over 12 different countries. Articles are going out in so many different languages that I don't speak, and I'm like, oh man, I just hope they're not misquoting me. And we try to pull them all together and get our friends that speak all the different languages to translate it for us.
How's your patois?
Well, terrible, actually. But luckily, the whole island speaks English as well.
So cool. I have a question for Sarah. Is it just my perception, or I've been involved in a lot of different freedom movements or projects, and a lot of different components. Everything from long time ago, Libertarian Party, to End the Fed, to Ron Paul, to TSA, to Fully Informed Jury Association, to the drug war, to you name it. Okay, I know somebody in all of it. is there something about Bitcoin that is specifically seems to draw women in? Or is it just my perception, or is there something different about this component that is bringing in these like really incredible, powerful, smart women?
So yeah, it's actually something that I focus on daily. So when I first came into Bitcoin, I didn't drop into the community at all and never asked anybody about it. I just owned Bitcoin. My friend Eric Voorhees answered a question, and he's like, this is the answer to your question, have Bitcoin. And I was like, okay, whatever. In 2013, I went to the San Jose conference for Bitcoin, and there was about 6 women there. And it was a huge conference. I mean, it was just inundated with really, really brilliant people, but only 6 women. And within the conversation of Bitcoin, over the last few years, it's been heavily male dominant. I've gone to meetups where I'm literally the only woman. I've been to conferences where some of the only women there are maybe media or press, but they're not keynote speakers. They're not talking about their projects. So this is something that I've looked at and done a lot of studying on. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. There's huge amounts of reasons why Bitcoin is very appealing to women, and there's tons of women in the community. Since I really started looking into it, I have at least 1,000 new women friends in the world in the last year. So I think one of the main reasons why Bitcoin is such a beautiful option for women is not only can they monetize their passions, they can give freedom to their friends and help others globally, which is a really large implication to talk about with women, because a lot of women and men, I don't want to say, I believe in men and women having the exact same ability to connect. Although women's corpus callosum is slightly thicker to maybe integrate emotions, I really don't believe in the stereotypes that modern day feminism tries to shove down your throat. But what I would say is that women have a very strong network effect. So the women that have come into this space have done huge ripples in the Bitcoin space to educate others and bring other women into the space. So one of my other projects is called the Bit Purse, and it's all the crypto accessories it's all the accessories that you need for your crypto world. So basically what we're doing is, because women don't carry wallets into the world, and it's relatively silly for me to tell my girlfriends, you want to get into Bitcoin, set up a Bitcoin wallet. They're like, I guess I'll have a Bitcoin wallet. But when I tell my girlfriends, I'm going to set you up with a Bitcoin purse, they're like, ooh, what's in my purse?
Accessories.
Exactly. So we're filling their purse with Bitcoin accessories. It's fun. It's a great project. Any night of the week, women can have a date with Bitcoin. So like shows like MK Lord's show on Wednesday night that unfortunately I missed tonight because I was kind of doing some stuff so I could hang out with you guys. She does crypto combos every Wednesday. Any night of the week, a woman can go and have a date with Bitcoin and learn more. And inside the platform, there's a lot of like new hidden applications that we're putting in. So when we launch, the women will just be inundated with not only community, Bitcoin education, but the opportunity to connect with each other, which is what Bitcoin needs, is to be able to do it. So